Good evening, everyone. Part 2 of Mr. L's starch, spray starch. Okay, I did finish this up. I added a little bit. I added some vodka to it. I think I added about a quarter cup. It seems like it's kind of a little heavier starch. You know, it's not the really light starch. But I also decided with the other recipe just to do the vodka and distilled water starch. And I did a quart. That recipe, the other recipe said about a quarter of the jar. So I did a quarter of the jar and topped it off with distilled water. And I've got some panels here. They're not fully pinned on. That I'm getting ready to edge, and I'm going to check which starch I like better or how they do. And I've got to square them up a little bit because they're just a little bit out of square. So that's what I'm using the starch for. That's what I needed the starch for, because I noticed when I was cutting some panels apart, they were pretty out of square. So I squared them back up. You know, went to my mom's and got the starch, but I already did some on this and I've on these two, and it really straightened those edges out. Really like that, but I thought I'd try on some just unlined fabric because this I've backed. So first I'm going to try the cornstarch with a little bit of vodka, and I've got my iron on. It's to rayon setting, so it's not so hot. You know, in the vodka recipe, they say to use the cheapest vodka you can find. You know, I mean, any vodka you can find is gonna work, I imagine. But I imagine they're saying, I'm wondering if there isn't, the cheaper vodkas have maybe more starch than the more expensive vodkas, and that's why they're saying it. I'm not sure. Or if it's just, you know, just use cheap stuff. Don't use your good stuff or something. Okay, that was the cornstarch with a little bit of vodka, and then this is the vodka with distilled water. I've got another panel here that I can use to demonstrate when I'm done with these, for just to give a little bit more. You know, I got really good results with both of them on these two, so with the bigger piece I'm a little curious. Dry. Okay, so this was the cornstarch. It's not too heavy. It's kind of like maybe a medium. I'd have to do try another version to see, but that's the cornstarch with the vodka. It's kind of nice. Feel it squared it up really nice, held it together. Well, this one, the vodka and water it's a lighter starch, but it held it really well. So maybe that's a heavier duty, and this is a lighter. I think it's just a lighter starch. Felt different on these pads, on these. Yeah, this is the vodka and water just makes a lighter starch. I mean, I probably could have added a third of a bottle. I just did a quarter. Kind of a quarter of the bottle. I was right about here. So probably done a little bit more and it would be just a little heavier. I imagine you can add, you know, like that, but I don't always want a heavy starch, and I kind of like that lighter starch for this. Now this, might need a heavier starch. I'm not sure yet. Suppose I can try it on this too. Do one side what I think is the lighter starch, and one side the heavier starch. See how it holds. I don't know if I showed you the puckering on this. As you can see, it does puckers a little bit. It's not as bad with this backing on here. curious how this is going to turn out with this. But you know, I imagine I wouldn't want to use good vodka if I was still a vodka drinker. You know, why waste the good stuff, the expensive stuff? Just use the cheap stuff. Phillips or whatever you can get for $12 a gallon. I don't remember. Okay, so I'm going to use the vodka water on this side. I was vodka water. Okay. And you know, I ordered these jars a couple of years ago, and I was gonna make a neem oil mosquito repellent, and then my neem didn't grow that year, so I started it inside, and then when I transplanted it outside, I had a pretty bad storm come through and just wiped out all of that. I had such a batch of raspberries on that year, and it just stripped them off, you know. So great things about living in the Midwest. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. You really won't like the weather. Okay. Oh. I got a little on that edge that might need a little bit more. And that was on the cornstarch side. The vodka side seems to be holding pretty well. I think I might have just missed that spot too. Oh, but that's beautiful. Yep, this is the stiffer starch. I can definitely feel the difference right there. It's but I do like it. It sure does make it a lot easier, you know, especially for how far I'm out to go to town to buy, and I know what's in it. You know, those commercial products, you never know what's in it. You know, all the lawsuits all the years. Anyway, that is beautiful. I do like, for this, it is a lighter starch. So great thing about the starch is you can spray it with water or steam it and it'll come out, you know. But I do like for the lighter, so this would definitely be for my heavier starch. And definitely, I'd say for the lighter starch. But, all right. Well, thanks for watching. You have a great evening.